In this lesson, we're going to look at 4 different types of seventh chords. Every one of these chords will be based off of our major scale. Please look at the notes that accompany this video, as there will be a lot of information here. If we take our major scale and use the first note, the third note, the fifth note, and the seventh note, that is our seventh chord. Those 4 notes together. As we said, we're going to do this off of a major scale. So our examples will be in the key of C. The C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Let's number each one of those notes of the major scale. 6, 7, 8. Now we'll write our seventh chord. The first note of the C major scale is C, so there's our C. The third note is an E, so there's our E. The fifth note is a G, so there's our G. And the seventh note is a B, and there's our B. And that is a seventh chord. Because the notes are all in spaces stacked up, this is based on a C, and it is a C seventh chord. This is a major seventh, and it is written as the name of the chord C with a triangle and a 7. It does not need any alterations. Just using the 4 notes from the scale gives you your major seventh chord. Our second seventh chord that we will look at is the dominant seventh. It's also called just a seventh. When we write this in music, we just write the name of the chord and a 7. We do have one alteration. We take the 7th note and we lower it 1/2 step. The 7th note here is the B. B natural, lowered a 1/2 step, becomes B flat. And that is now our C dominant 7th, or our C 7th. Our third 7th chord that we look at is the half-diminished 7th chord. We will write in our 4 notes from the major scale. The symbol for the half-diminished chord is a circle with a diagonal line through it, and then a 7. That means C half-diminished 7th. We do have some alterations on this to make it half-diminished. The 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th, every one of those notes will be lowered 1/2 step. So the 3rd is an E, we'll make it E flat. The 5th is G, we'll make that G flat. And the 7th is B, we'll make that B flat. This is a C half-diminished 7th chord. Our last 7th chord that we will look at in this introductory lesson is the fully diminished, or just the diminished 7th. We start with our 4 notes from the major scale. The symbol in music for a fully diminished or diminished 7th is just a circle and a 7. For the fully diminished or diminished scale, the 3rd and the 5th are each lowered 1/2 step. The 7th is lowered a whole step. So let's work then on that with this chord. The 3rd is an E, we make it an E flat. The 5th is a G, we make it a G flat. The 7th is a B natural, lowering it a 1/2 step is B flat. We have to lower it another 1/2 step to make it B double flat. Now B double flat is also an A, so you could write this chord as C, E flat, G flat, and A. That is your fully diminished, or just your diminished 7th. Some people like to learn these chords based on the interval between each of the notes of the chord. So let's go over that. For the major seventh chord, the interval between the first and the third is a major third. The interval between the third and the fifth is a minor third. The interval between the fifth and the seventh is a major third. For the dominant seventh, or just the seventh, the interval between the first and the third is a minor third. The interval between the third and the fifth is a major third. And the interval between the fifth and the seventh is a minor third. For the half-diminished seventh chord, the interval between the first and the third is a minor third. The interval between the third and the fifth is also a minor third, but the interval between the fifth and the seventh is a major third. Finally, for the fully diminished, or just the diminished seventh, the interval between the first and the third is a minor third. The interval between the third and the fifth is a minor third, and the interval between the fifth and the seventh is also a minor third. This has been an introductory lesson to seventh chords.